Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is July the 19th, 2025. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. We start off our day a little bit behind schedule. I've been saying, hey, I've been sleeping so much better. And then, of course, I wake up in the middle of the night and had a little bit of trouble getting back to sleep. So, wound up oversleeping a little bit for laundry. But overall, we got in, we got out, no hassles, no problems. So, we love that. Post laundry, we went to the gym, and this is where I had to make some harder choices. I knew that, kind of talking, from previous episodes, that I needed to make at least a temporary change for my back. Sooner or later, we were just going to have to make some kind of change, right? And my compromise that I came to was, let's just not do heavy lifting for this weekend. Let's just more or less do a maintenance situation, and let's go in and not touch the Smith machine. Really, let's just stay off it, at least for today, probably tomorrow as well. And overall, that was good. A little bit of a shorter routine. I even knocked off some other exercises on the free weights just to spare my back a little bit more movement. But overall, my back is feeling okay. What I'm saying, that post workout, so everything went well. I think I'm just missing, lifting big. I like lifting big every week. That feels good. But I'm hanging my hat on yesterday's numbers, the fact that we get a PR and, we did get to lift heavy at least once during the week. So I'm figuring, hey, let's just take it a little easier and hopefully feel better for next week. That's the goal. So there we go. Let's see. There's really not much else in the personal news to really yap about. So let's go ahead and do our startup and get into some news. All right. Our first story comes from CBS News. Tourist boat capsizes in Vietnam during thunderstorm, leaving at least 34 dead. A tourist boat capsized during a sudden thunderstorm in Vietnam on Saturday during an afternoon sightseeing excursion, killing at least 34 people and prompting a search for others who remain missing, state media reported. The Wonder Sea Boat was carrying 48 passengers and 5 crew members, all of them Vietnamese, during the tour of Ha Long Bay, a popular destination for visitors, according to reports. Rescue workers saved 11 people and rescued the dead near the site of the capsizing, VNE Express newspaper said. 23 people remain missing. Authorities had earlier reported that 12 people had been rescued, but later revised the figure to 11. The boat turned upside down because of strong winds, the newspaper said. A 14-year-old boy was among the survivors, and he was rescued 4 hours after being trapped in the overturned hull. The newspaper said that most of the passengers were tourists, including 20 children from Hanoi, the country's capital. So obviously that's very unfortunate happening to take place. You're going out for a sightseeing. You just want to be out in the water with your family, your friends, what have you, and then something like this happens. Obviously, it's very unfortunate to see such a high number in terms of loss of life. So obviously condolences. But let's move on, though, to our next story. Going to go to L.A. from the Associated Press. Man whose car struck crowd outside Los Angeles club, injuring 30, was shot, attacked by crowd. A vehicle rammed into a crowd of people waiting to enter a nightclub along a busy boulevard in Los Angeles early Saturday, injuring 30 people and leading bystanders to attack the driver, authorities said. The driver was later found to have been shot, according to Los Angeles police, who are searching for the suspected gunman who fled the scene. It was not immediately clear if the driver had been shot before or after the crash or why he drove into the crowd, a Los Angeles Police Department spokesman said. 23 victims were transported to local hospitals and trauma centers, according to police. At least 3 were in critical condition after being injured along Santa Monica Boulevard in East Hollywood, the Los Angeles City Fire Department said in a statement. Fire Captain Adam Van Gerpen said that a line of people, the majority female, were waiting to enter a nightclub when they were struck by a Nissan Versa that had hit a taco truck and a valet stand. They were all standing in line to go into a club. There was a taco cart out there, so they were getting some food, waiting to go in. And there's also a valet line there, said Van Gerpen, a public information officer. The valet podium was taken out, the taco truck was taken out, and then a large number of people were impacted by the vehicle. Let's see here. Like I said, we don't know whether he was shot before or after he drove into the crowd of people, so I don't really want to speculate too hard. But they did say that the shooter was described as a man with a blue jersey and a silver revolver. So that is who they are looking for. The club, Vermont Hollywood, was hosting a reggae hip-hop event from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., according to its online calendar. A phone message left with the business was not immediately returned. So yeah, obviously unfortunate yet again. Hopefully no one dies coming out of this situation, and hopefully we get some more information on what caused this, the details, the sequence of events. Definitely would like to know more. But now let's go ahead and move on. I keep kind of wanting to be done with the Epstein shit, but it just kind of keeps, calling us back. We keep kind of getting pulled back into it. So some more shit dropped in terms of this expose, this letter that was revealed by Wall Street Journal. And it, it comes with some fallout that, I want to get into. So anyway, from Vanity Fair, Donald Trump sues Wall Street Journal reporters Rupert Murdoch for $10 billion over fake Epstein letter. President Donald Trump on Friday sued media mogul Rupert Murdoch over the Wall Street Journal's recent investigative reporting that said Trump sent his then friend Jeffrey Epstein a body letter for Epstein's 50th birthday. It's the first time that Trump has targeted a media organization with legal action as sitting president. The lawsuit, filed with the federal court in the Southern District of Florida, names Murdoch, his company News Corp, and its CEO, Robert Thompson, the journal's publisher, Dow Jones & Co., and the 2 reporters who wrote the article published Thursday, Khadija Safdar and Joe Palazzo. This is the latest escalation in Trump's legal battles with the news outlets that he claims have been unfair to him. Now, I kind of want to try to do the accent. It's been a while since I've tried to fool Trump. No, we're not going to do it. We have just filed a powerhouse lawsuit against anyone involved in publishing the false, malicious, defamatory, fake news article in the useless rag that is the Wall Street Journal, Trump wrote on Truth Social. This lawsuit is filled not only on behalf of your favorite president, me, he continued, but also in order to continue standing up for all Americans who will no longer tolerate the abusive wrongdoings of the fake news media. It's weird the things he chose to, capitalize in this post, but hey, I mean, he can do whatever the fuck he wants, I guess. In a statement to CNBC, a Dow Jones spokesperson said, "We have full confidence in the rigor and accuracy of our reporting and will vigorously defend against any lawsuit." The Thursday article in the Wall Street Journal details a leather-bound album of letters compiled by Ghislaine Maxwell to Epstein for his 50th birthday in 2003. And the album, according to documents reviewed by the Wall Street Journal, is a body letter bearing Trump's name. It contains several lines of typewritten text framed by the outline of a naked woman. Safdar and Palazzo, or whatever, wrote, which appears to be hand drawn with heavy marker. A pair of small arcs denote the woman's breasts, and the future president's signature is a squiggly Donald below her waist, mimicking pubic hair. In an interview with the Journal, Trump denied writing the letter or drawing a picture, saying that it is not him, that it was a fake, and that it's a fake Wall Street Journal story. In that interview, he also said he would sue the Wall Street Journal just like I sued everyone else. The alleged album was reportedly assembled before Epstein was first arrested in 2006, after allegations became public that he was sexually abusing girls. In 2019, Epstein died in jail and was arrested a second time and charged with sex trafficking conspiracy. Also, I want to pause. I like that they just said died in jail as opposed to, hung himself. I feel like that is always a safer way to word it, and you can always tell a lot about how they frame that. Anyway, the Journal's exclusive also reported that there was a letter accompanying the drawing, which was styled as an imaginary conversation between Trump and Epstein. The Journal reported that letter reading, and we're going to go over it. So let's go ahead and read it. Voiceover. There must be more to life than having everything, the note began. Donald. Yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey. Nor will I, since I also know what it is. Donald. We have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey. Yes, we do, come to think of it. Donald. Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey. As a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. Trump. A pal. A pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday. And may every day be another wonderful secret. It's very weird. It's very unnerving. It was something I was talking about with my friend, and it's just so weird. And it's one of those things where I'm sure there's going to be people who are going to be in the weeds and go through rabbit holes to figure out what they're trying to say, if they're reading between lines or whatever. But to me, just on the surface of it, it's just very creepy old guy behavior. And you're just saying this coy shit with a smile, and it's just why would you make this letter? You could have just gone to Hallmark and just, got a little something, got a little gag card, and then happy birthday, you old fuck, or something, and just moved on. This is very weird. It's very odd. It doesn't make him look good, that's for sure. It's very unsettling, it's very off-putting. And I think that's that's why he's so upset, and he's trying to make this big lawsuit. Probably the best move, though, for Trump is to just not make a big deal out of it. But he just cannot do that for this shit. And he is really, really pushing the point that this is fake. It's not real. It's made up. And I'm going after Rupert Murdoch for this shit. Which, at the end of the day, if I'm being honest, I don't mind that these two motherfuckers are going at each other's throat. We've talked about Rupert Murdoch before on this podcast. Fuck him. He sucks. Tomato time for him. And fuck Trump. I do think he made this letter, and, it was fine and dandy and whatever at the time. But now, people are peeling back and going through the fucking, crates. They're going through the files. And they're really, highlighting. It's hey, man, there's just such weird behavior here between you and this guy. Isn't that odd? Isn't that weird? And you won't fucking, divulge this shit, and you just want to kind of just brush by it. That's weird. That's strange, You're calling people stupid for, being upset about this. Let's see. What else did I really want to pull from? Here we go. Trump's relationship with Epstein has come under intense scrutiny lately after the Department of Justice wrote a memo. Actually, no, that's not what I'm looking for. That was the situation where they said there's nothing to see here. We looked into it. There's nothing extra. Trump on Thursday evening asked Bondi to seek the release of any and all pertinent grand jury testimony around the Epstein investigation. But I think even Trump knows, and I think he's even said this in a truth post, that it doesn't matter. If I get this, unsealed and this happens, people are still gonna be mad. They're still gonna say that I need to be doing more. And on that, yeah, you're right, because it's this isn't anything. It's not. I don't even know if it's gonna be even crumbs to people. If it's even gonna actually give any real insight or highlight. And I think especially now, once again, as we mentioned before, people want that quote-unquote Epstein file, or the files, It has become such a thing now that people believe it's 100% real as it is in their head, and if they don't see something like that, then they're going to assume that they're being lied to, that it's being hidden from them. So, the beat goes on here. So, I mean, it's a big number, and a lot of people are affected by this, this new lawsuit. It's also worth noting, too, because they said this is like the first time, but they do have the Paramount thing, which I kind of wanted to note. Carl Tobias, a University of Richmond law professor, told Stelter that Trump and his allies continued attacks on the media, from his suit against Paramount to Congress rolling back $9 billion in public media funding and foreign aid, could have a chilling effect on news organizations. So, kind of thinking back to the Paramount, I also mentioned the Late Show, saying, hey, come next year, they're not running another year. Colbert's done, it's all done. A thing that got floated, I was listening to the BBC, is the idea of like maybe that might have been part of the deal, or just the soft understanding that Paramount came to. It's like, we don't want to ruffle this dude's feathers, and like it's just not worth it. And if we just like put a kibosh on the Late Show, because they said for financial reasons is why they did it, and maybe in a vague, nebulous way, that was a financial reason. They're like, yeah, it's just not worth the weight to carry, so we're just gonna let that shit go. So, obviously it's unfortunate. I know that there are some people who really do enjoy the Late Show in general. They're Colbert heads, so I get that. But yeah, I mean, it does seem like Trump is really trying to do everything he can to get his way and get what he wants. And I think on this Epstein thing, he's really trying to manifest everyone, just forget about it, just move on, just let this shit go. But, people are pretty dogged about this shit. It is a conspiracy. It is like a mind worm for everyone. And people want all the answers that they can get out of this shit. They want to know more. And on that I completely understand. All right, so that's where we'll leave that for now. Let's go ahead and move on to some recalls. I've been kind of lacking. I like to get on these the second I get them, but, news has just been in the way. A lot of things to cover. But from USA Today, more than 24,000 pounds of chicken sausage sold nationwide recalled. KM Foods Incorporated is recalling more than 24,000 pounds of ready-to-eat chicken sausage after the company received consumer reports of white pieces of plastic in the food, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Food Safety and Inspection Service, or FSIS. FSIS is concerned that some products may be in consumers' refrigerators or freezers, the agency said in a July 17 notice. While there have been at least 3 complaints about the presence of plastic pieces in sausages, no injuries have been reported, the FSIS has said. 24,173 pounds, 24,173,000 pounds, sorry, I don't know, I feel like I said that funny. Anyway, pounds of recalled sausages were produced on June 28th, 2025, according to FSIS and KM Foods. And then let's see, we'll run through some of the names of the items. KM Foods all natural alfresco chicken sausage, sweet apple with Vermont made syrup. That sounds kind of interesting. It has a lot code of 179 and a use freeze by date of October 1st, 2025 on the back label. And some more numbers and whatnot. But anyway, just if you have that, obviously pitch it, or contact your store, go to your store, get your refund or exchange. Obviously, you don't want to be consuming any plastics. I feel like we call that microplastic. Is that a microplastic? I don't know, but plastics in general. Obviously, you don't want that in your chicken sausage. That's no good. Now we have one more recall, and it's a bit weirder, a bit more vague, but I still wanted to at least cover it. Maybe we'll do an update on it in the future. But yeah, let's go ahead and take our last break and tend to something on our BO. Body odor? There you go. Yeah, I suppose I should just say that, because what could BO mean? Especially if you're listening from another country. Anyway, whatever. All right. Our last story is from CBS News. Power Stick deodorant recalled from retailers because of manufacturing defects. Some Power Stick deodorants manufactured by AP Dalville are under recall for manufacturing defects, according to the Food and Drug Administration, or the FDA. The recall the recall impacts more than 67,000 cases of roll-on deodorants that were sold nationally. A notice posted by the agency shows. The issue is related to deviations with current good manufacturing practices, a set of guidelines for pharmaceutical manufacturing, although the recall notice didn't specify the issues with the deodorants. I don't like that. I feel like when you have something like this, you need to be very open, completely transparent about what is going on. Like saying, oh, this wasn't made to standard. Well, what's wrong with it that made it that way? Like, I think that that's important to know for, the consumers, the potential consumers of this good. But that's why I say, hey, we might have to come back with an update, to at least maybe know what happened here, what's going on. I don't want to speculate. But we'll run through some of the names. There's a lot of numbers and stuff that we're just not going to cover. But Power Stick for her, roll-on antiperspirant deodorant powder fresh. Power Stick Invisible Protection Roll-On Antiperspirant Deodorant Spring Fresh. Power Stick Original Nourishing Invisible Protection Roll-On Antiperspirant Deodorant. The recall involves 21,265 cases of Power Stick for her roll-on antiperspirant deodorant powder. 22,482 cases of Power Stick Invisible Protection Roll-On Antiperspirant Deodorant Spring Fresh, and 23,467 cases of Power Stick Original Nourishing Invisible Protection Roll-On Antiperspirant Deodorant. That was a mouthful, my dear listeners. So if you have any of those, there's a lot of lot codes if you want to check out the site, or, I don't know, Google this and say, hey, is my Power Stick affected? Obviously, you know the deal. You know the protocol. You pitch those things. You ditch the stick, or you get a refund. You know what I mean? But yeah, stay safe out there. Like I said, I don't know what was the problem with these deodorant sticks, but I would like to know. So, I will come back with information if I find out. But that's going to be it. That is going to be the episode for today. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/Isaiah News. Become a newsie today. Free ways to hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Follow on, or free ways to hit me up. That's what I'm trying to say. IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me on any of the socials. Subscribe to the YouTube. Follow on TikTok. Follow on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, whatever listening platform you would like. Leave a like, leave a cool comment. Sharing is caring. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.